Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. Hello ladies and frogs, and welcome back to another video. I am once again sitting in my car for this voiceover, and it's super hot in here. But the show must go on, so here we go. I talk about it all the time, so I know a lot of you know that I've been on social media for a really long time. I've been through a lot of different kinds of things, and if any of you have been on my YouTube channel at any time ever, you know that I've also been through a number of controversies. And I think that going through some sort of controversy or cancellation of any kind is kind of inevitable for anyone who creates content online. And you guys know how I feel about cancel culture. I think nowadays it's a lot less about holding people accountable and a lot more about having something to be mad at, which is why I really take everything with a grain of salt, and I prefer to do my own research and develop my own opinion on situations. But at the end of the day, I am human, and sometimes I do let cancel culture get the best of me, and sometimes I can be too quick to jump to conclusions about somebody before hearing the full story. And sometimes that can get me into trouble, and I'm not above admitting when I'm wrong, but there are also some times where that pulls out people's true colors, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. And although this video was prompted by something that took place recently, it's more of a generalized statement over things that I've experienced and things that I've seen since being on social media. So this isn't about a specific instance in particular, even though it was inspired to me by a situation that took place. I'm sorry for the random dip in audio quality. For some reason, my mic stopped working again. Now, before we get into the video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Skillshare. Skillshare is a website that gives you the ability to learn all types of new creative mediums, whether that's cooking, illustration, painting, and so much more, through specialized instructors who are experts in their creative field. Skillshare provides you with the opportunity to build and improve on your pre-existing talents or develop entirely new skills using instructional videos that are developed by their specialists. I was lucky enough to become a Skillshare affiliate, so using my code annual30AFF will give you the opportunity for 30% off of your first year on Skillshare. Go ahead and click the link in my bio to learn more about the offer and potentially find your new creative medium today. Alright, now let's get back to the video. I know we've all seen it happen time and time again where someone will go viral regardless of what they're going viral for, and you'll see a total personality shift. And a lot of people will try and use this as an opportunity to either build their career or an online presence or whatever it may be. But I know we've also seen quite a few people kind of get a big head over the popularity. For example, I know all of you heard about the fact that the Hak 2 girl ended up quitting her day job and moving to LA after that audio went viral. And I'm not sure if you guys heard about this, but the woman who created the very mindful, very demure trend is currently using her popularity to fund her gender reassignment surgery. So as you can see, going viral can go a lot of different ways. And though going viral is a one-way ticket to popularity, you don't have to go viral to become popular on social media. And regardless of whether you're popular because you went viral or not, I have seen an umpteenth amount of times creators try and weaponize their following, and that's kind of the main issue that I have with it. I feel like social media and society as a whole has kind of tainted the way that we view human interaction, and because cancel culture is so prevalent, it's become insanely normalized to witch hunt anyone who has even the slightest difference in opinion. And once you try to cancel somebody, it can get really out of hand really fast. I've seen it happen where one person tries to cancel another person and a few days goes by and it just snowballs so hard that people are now arguing about something that had nothing to do with the original cancellation. And I've also noticed sometimes people realize that they aren't justified in their anger, and so they'll just start to, like, for lack of a better term, make stuff up, which blows the whole situation out of proportion. I'm going to use myself as an example. Obviously, you guys know that I was quote-unquote canceled a couple years back for drawing Blasian Deku, and because they realized that that's more opinion rather than it is fact, they tried to start accusing me of other things, like saying that I was a pedophile because of this drawing that I did of Eri. Or like the other day, I tried to call out a small streamer for being abusive and toxic in her streams, and she somehow boiled it down to me not liking black people. All of this to say that I believe if you're trying to cancel somebody, it has to happen in a not only a justifiable, but a very strategic way, because calling somebody out can get very out of hand very fast. And a lot of people will believe anything that they see on the internet without evidence or without proof. I know that I'm a victim of this as well, and I'll get to more of that in a little bit. Basically, cancel culture is getting out of hand, and trying to cancel every other person just for doing something you don't like is really watering down the principles of canceling someone. And that's why we see so many people who have actually done problematic things still successful and still going strong to this day, because so many people are getting quote unquote canceled every day way that it's no longer a threat. It's just an inevitable fact of posting on social media. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, what I personally try to do to stay away from cancel culture is do my own independent research on a person. I try and fact check as much as I can and draw my own conclusions before immediately calling somebody problematic or toxic. And if I do speak on something publicly, I try and make it very, very clear that I don't want anyone who's coming from my videos or following me to go and hate on that person, because that's another thing about cancel culture I don't like. Going and insulting somebody in their comment section or in their emails or in their DMs is not going to stop them from doing the problematic behavior. It's just going to make everybody angry and it's going to rile up the situation. And that's why I hate it when I see like posts and videos online of people like actively calling out creators, dropping their usernames, encouraging their followers to go and interact with them. Like, obviously I don't mind calling somebody out on problematic behavior, but when you are like actively encouraging people to go and hate in their comment section, when you're giving them negative attention in their DMs, you're no more than a bully at that point, and you're really just trying to witch hunt people. Now, as an example, I'm going to use the situation that took place recently. I'm sure you guys saw a little bit about it in my YouTube community post, but there was a lot of do's and don'ts on both sides of this situation. I'm not above admitting that I myself could have handled the situation better, but regardless, it was a learning experience for the future. A few days ago, I got a tweet on my Explore page basically calling out this smaller streamer for misgendering somebody in their stream deliberately, and calling the streamer out for generally being pretty aggressive and like borderline bullying this person in their stream. And because of this person choosing to come out about the situation and the small streamer making a clapback tweet that was basically just accusing them of lying for clout, this person ended up receiving a lot of transphobic hate in their comments. And for the sake of anonymity, I'm not going to post any of them, but I will have some more screenshots for you later. So I tried to do a bit of my own research, and obviously because of the way the situation turned out, I didn't do enough of it, but I ended up finding a clip of the stream in question where this streamer was misgendering the person from the tweet. And I chose to stitch that clip and basically talk on the situation and explain that not only did this person misgender someone, but I also didn't think the streamer was deserving of the platform that she had, because she was actively using it on Twitter to go and witch hunt this person who called them out. Now, obviously when the streamer saw this, she replied to me with a clip of her asking for the person's pronouns and the person actively denying to give them. So I made another video where I apologized for being misinformed and falsely accusing her, but I did emphasize that I stood by the rest of what I said. I still felt she handled the situation immaturely because she was actively encouraging her followers to go and hate on this person instead of trying to clear her name and simply post that proof beforehand. And basically the situation got really out of hand really fast. Her followers immediately started flooding my comment section with transphobic comments, with accusatory comments. I tried to reach out to her and explain that her people were being very ignorant and her followers were getting kind of out of hand. And she ended up adding fuel to the fire by inviting me onto her live stream under the guise of trying to have a mature conversation and to clear the air. Once I joined the live stream, before I even said anything in the chat, she was encouraging her followers to come to my account. She was having people drop my username every 30 seconds. She was asking her followers to go and spam my comment section, this, that, and the other thing. And that live stream basically just turned into 30 minutes of her screaming at the top of her lungs about me, and it all ended up boiling down to her saying that I hated Black people and that I was homophobic. And despite me trying to clarify to her that I myself am mixed and that this had nothing to do with race or sexuality, it ended with her followers saying some pretty racist and transphobic things to me in my DMs, in my comment section, and in her actual chat. And then after realizing she wasn't really mature enough to have like a conversation about the situation, I simply apologized for misinforming people, continued to stand by my original opinion, and then chose not to engage with her anymore after that. And for the next 2 days, she continued to try and get my attention by making posts about me, by trying to quote unquote call me out. And according to my friend, for 2 days straight, her and her followers were talking about nothing but me in her Discord server, where they were continuing to make racist and transphobic comments, where they were sending screenshots of my content, making fun of me, making fun of my skin tone, making fun of the way I looked, making fun of the way I sounded, this, that, and the other thing, nonstop for 2 days straight, apparently. Now, to my knowledge, she's blocked me on some social media, and I've only received a few comments since the situation took place. However, I think this situation was a prime example of people abusing their following to try and get what they want. Obviously, she was trying to basically bully me into silence about the situation. And like I said, I'm not above admitting that I was also wrong in this situation. I definitely could have engaged with her a lot less. I think that if I had chosen to enable the situation a lot less by refusing to answer DMs and comments comments and refusing to engage with her on other platforms, the situation probably could have ended a lot sooner. But I guess in all honesty, I was just pretty upset with being falsely accused of a lot of horrible things simply for expressing an opinion. And despite the fact that I know on social media that no matter how much you try and fight and defend yourself, people who don't like you are just going to continue to not like you, I was caught up in the moment and consistently trying to clear my name and convince her and her followers that not only was I not anti-Black, but I also was an anti-small creator, because despite not mentioning my following one time, she somehow made a narrative that I was flexing my follower count on her, ? And like I've said before, I don't really find my follower count that impressive. Like, I am very proud of having 100,000 subscribers. I was very proud when I had 300,000 followers on TikTok, but I think there are a lot of other people out there who have a lot bigger followings than me, and I wouldn't by any means consider myself a quote-unquote big creator. I think all in all, I got really caught up in this situation, and it had been so long since I was in the middle of TikTok drama like this that I really didn't know how to handle myself. But I also think that she definitely proved my point of me thinking that she wasn't mature enough to have the following that she did because of the way that she chose to exercise it in this situation. And however people want to use their platform is totally up to them. And I guess at the end of the day, I'm not really in control of what she does or how she does things. But according to some of her followers that reached out to me privately, I guess this isn't the first time that she's been in the middle of some sort of controversy like this. And I can't imagine that it'll be her last. So I think the moral of the story is not to try and publicly call somebody out with having all of the information first, and definitely don't try and weaponize your following. And also, I feel like this one is just a given, but maybe don't be racist, homophobic, or transphobic, because I've also noticed that a lot of people tend to live by a principle where they'll be really ignorant to somebody if they feel like they deserve it. And I've seen it a lot where people will be ignorant if they think that it's justified, like purposefully misgendering somebody because they think they deserve it, or calling somebody a slur because they think that they're a bad person. And I hate to break it to you, but you can't selectively support a community. If you are racist, homophobic, or transphobic to people because you feel like they quote-unquote deserve it, then you are just racist, homophobic, or transphobic. Anyways, TLDR, cancel culture is stupid. Do your own research and don't be an asshole. That's the end of this week's video. I know I said a couple weeks ago that I was going to be doing a tutorial video, and I'm not done editing it, but I will be soon. I love you all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!